What is up, guys? We are back with another reaction video. This time we're checking out the man, the myth, the legends, Larry Bird. NBA legends and players explain Larry Bird would destroy today's NBA. Now, I checked out a Larry Bird compilation like a month ago. That was like my first time. So why don't we just jump into this, see what the NBA legends have to say. All right, so let's do it.
Prime Larry Bird in today's NBA. This is the most intriguing player for this type of series because he will fit so well in today's era. He is a complete package of what you want in today's NBA. Larry Bird had many ways to impact the game, and his IQ was remarkable. You could argue he had the highest basketball IQ in NBA history. The most underrated part of Larry Bird's game for me was his defense. He led the league in defensive win shares 4 times and finished second twice. Only George Mikan, Bill Russell, and Tim Duncan have more seasons than him as league leaders.
Isn't that wild?
And
Everybody always says Larry Bird is like the worst defender and he wouldn't be able to play today because he was so slow. Yet he was like one of the best defenders back then. And it was more physical back then too. So
Hakeem Olajuwon is tied with them. Despite his reputation as more of an offensive player, this actually puts him in the company of some of the greatest defenders in NBA history. He also made 3 all-defensive teams. Sure, he wasn't a lockdown defender like Dennis Rodman in one-on-one situations, but he could hold his own and was great at reading passing lanes for steals. So he wasn't a liability, which was one of the biggest myths. And to prove that Larry Bird will dominate in today's NBA, there are players like Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic who are thriving in the league. Both players possess some of Larry Bird's qualities. Jokic's freakish passing abilities, excellent off-ball play, and Luka's tough shot making and competitive mentality. But neither are a better shooter or defender than Larry. That is why in today's league it's difficult to find a player to compare Larry Bird to, because he is a composite of many players. The only thing you have to worry about with a prime Larry Bird in today's NBA is whether he'll be ejected after trash talking every player guarding him, because he will destroy players mentally too. Like the guy was telling players what he would do before he even had the ball in his hands. So I'm going to show you NBA legends and players sharing stories of how dominant and skilled Larry Bird was. And after this video, please tell me how many points you think a peak Larry Bird will average in today's league. Enjoy the video, man.
Prior to that NCAA tournament, still was the most watched NCAA Finals game in NCAA history. Right. How much did you know about Larry Bird prior to that game?
No.
Well, Shannon, the summer before, they had the WIT tournament.
Okay.
And they brought all the best college players together.
Okay.
To play against the world.
Okay.
And man, I see this guy, blonde hair, I said, all right, let me see if he can play.
Okay.
Man, I'm sitting there watching him shoot, Shannon. He must have made 30 in a row all net.
So he was Steph Curry before Steph.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there saying, this dude can play.
Okay.
Because, brothers, we always say, okay, can the white dude really play?
Correct. Right.
So then I said, oh, man, he a bad boy.
Right.
Then we got in the game. Jack Gibbons was player of the year that year.
Right.
He tore him up, man.
Jack Gibbons from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Because they won the national championship in '78.
Right. That same time.
Yeah, okay.
Man, Larry Bird was taking it to him. I said, oh, man.
What college did Bird go
I'm
to?
back home saying, oh, he for real. He for real. This dude, Larry Bird?
Right.
Oh, he got it. He
Right.
can play. He's dominating Jack Gibbons.
Rich, I don't know. I think he might average 30. I mean, here's the thing. Nobody could ever rush Larry Bird. I know guys are way more athletic now, but his ability to shoot the ball, depending upon the team he's on, like he can get anywhere he wants to be and shoot over smaller players, and he was one of the most crafty players the game has ever seen. So I think his game translates to any time period.
Larry Bird talked a lot of shit. Bird used to tell me, look here, man, I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats. They don't be always mentioning him. He was the shit. Yeah. The shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold. Cold dude, man. Real cold.
Dude, I love hearing stuff like that because although he wasn't the best physically, most dominant player, he just did everything right. He knew his mind game was just so far leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. He would destroy all these weak-minded players nowadays. Oh my gosh. They're soft, talking about rest days. Rest days? What the fuck? That's what you're getting paid millions of dollars for. Get the heck out there. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He'd dominate.
Tell you a memory. I'll just tell you that Larry was a phenomenal basketball player. The guy had unbelievable physical and mental toughness, which set him apart. I mean, that guy just would play through pain.
Bird is hurt. Bird is down, and he's hurt. And here comes
Kobe Bryant kind of reminds me of him. He's like the only person
from an apparent fracture of
from the modern NBA era.
Nothing bothered him. Unbelievable competitor, great hands, great vision, great feel for the game, and just, could go out every single night and just play at an unbelievably high level. Didn't have to shoot the ball really well to have a good game because he did so many different things.
I said, the dude just knew how to play, right? And the thing that I loved about him is that he was a shit talker. And I wish you would have got a chance to play against him, Robert, because I swear to God, you'd have loved playing against him because the dude would just tell you where he's going, shoot it in your face, talk shit to you, and run back down the floor.
Yeah.
And he was just one of those guys that, he just had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he had it, and I saw it in college, and obviously saw it a whole lot closer when we get a chance to play against the Celtics. He was the biggest trash talker back in the day, but he would back it up.
The first guy there, he was the last guy to leave. He wore that body out with the jumpers.
That's the thing too. Like anyone can trash talk. Like you can find a guy on the freaking street corner that can't play a lick, but he's got the loudest mouth. But no one really pays attention to that guy because he can't back it up. Larry Bird could back it up, so trash talk mattered. Anyone can talk trash. It's whether you can actually back it up.
And the concentration and the focus and the discipline and the sacrifice, he had it all. And he wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And if it ever got to the point where Casey Jones, a coach who we just loved and would do anything for, if Casey would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no. I'm shooting this ball, and he would.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a three out of it, and he gets it.
Now, growing up in Boston, people all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody.
So your guys are saying, how can you let this guy?
Oh, he's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
I have to give the edge to Bird. I mean, he can get his own shot off. He can get his teammate. Basically, what Magic did, he was able to do, plus be an offensive threat all the way out to the three-point line. That's an incredible asset. They were pretty much the same size. Yeah. They were both slow. They were both, they were not both leapers.
Yeah.
But Bird, that outside three, and they were both high IQ guys, but I got to give the edge to Bird.
To play against the dream team.
This was the legendary game where the college guys came in and Chuck Daly let y'all tear their ass up, and as soon as y'all started getting back, he ended it, right?
So funny. So when we got an invitation, it was 8 of us. It was myself, Bobby Hurley, Allen Houston, Chris Webber, Rodney Rogers, Eric Montrose.
Shout out Rodney Rogers, man. Shout out to OG.
Yeah. And Grant Hill was on that squad. So we get to La Jolla, San Diego, and we check into the Marriott. We go up to our floor, and we're walking in the corridor, and we see this tall white guy coming down the hall. And I'm like, damn, that looked like Larry Bird. So Larry Bird coming down the hallway, me and Chris Webber, and Larry Bird, you don't realize how big Larry Bird is until you stand up close to Larry Bird.
Exactly.
Larry Bird legit 6'10".
Real talk. When I first stood up against him when he was coaching the pace, I was like, damn.
So he walked by us and he says, y'all those college guys? And we was like, yeah, we the college guys. And he looked at us and he said, get some fucking rest. It's going to be a long week, and walked off. And we was like, what the hell? Larry?
What y'all got us into?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. We like, all right, what's going on here?
I wanted to say what's up, and he just came at me like this, like, dang.
Larry broke into the league, rookie of the year. Yeah, had a strong first year. So I knew that I was teaming up with someone that was franchise-changing type talent.
You know, this guy, I think he was born to play basketball. Seeing him come in, team that had won 20 games the year before, and, you know, the next year, I mean, you know, they're 40 plus, and the next year they're 60 plus.
That's a freaking insane. They go from 20 wins to 40. He doubles the win total. And is he like the only change to the roster? Or do they have a lot of big additions that year? But to go from 20 wins to 60 wins in 2 years, that's freaking great. 40 wins swing. He's generational talent right there.
Bird was at Indiana State, and the first time we really got a chance to see him play on television, Indiana State played Bradley, and then, you know, fast forward, then they played DePaul, and Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummins, Teddy Grubbs on that team, and Larry Bird just, you know, he does this thing, and then of course they went on and they played Magic at Michigan State. But Bird was again, one of the greatest shooters, champions, competitors to ever play in our game.
You now join Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain as the only players in the 40-year history of the NBA to win the league's MVP award 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Rob, I wish you would have played against him, man. Larry Bird was the biggest shit talker in the league back in the day. He would tell you exactly where he was going, what he was going to do. And he did that to us in the finals. He was like, guys, don't worry about it. I'm going to go right over here into the corner. I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to shoot it, and ain't shit y'all can do about it. I mean, and he did exactly that. So I wish you would have got a chance to play against him.
Because I always think about that moment. I don't know how true this is, but you remember the time when he was playing Atlanta?
Who's he talking to?
And he told the guy, he says, I'm a bank of 3 on you. And the guy says, bullshit. So,
on the out-of-bound play.
Throughout the game, throughout the game, he never got to say, he said, you know what? He goes back in the game. I think he had like 50 points that game or something.
I noticed too, because Kevin McHale ended up having the most points ever scored by a Boston Celtic, right? And Larry told him he should have got 60 because he broke it against Atlanta 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah, and it was in the bench. Atlanta bench got in trouble because they out here rooting for. I'm like,
you can see it. I mean, if you go back and look at the tape, you can see the bench. Every shot he made, they're going crazy.
It's like he unbanked this one. And it's like, see, that's what you want, because when someone's telling you what they can do and you can't stop it, you know they're a bad man.
Bad man.
Yeah. But I look at guys in this era now, and you say, okay. You look at Bird and says, "Man, I could have stopped him because he's slow." It's sort of like Luka now. You watch Luka. Luka is so freaking slow, and you're like, "Why can't they stop that?"
Right.
I'm like,
yes.
But when you crafty and you know how to play, that's all you need.
Yeah. I think Bird is fast compared to Luka. I see Luka. He be going slow as hell, and he'll get by you. But Larry probably looked like fucking sprinter compared to the way Luka played.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think it was 86, 87. So we was playing Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So they gave me the task of guarding Larry Bird. Guarding Larry Bird. I'm like this 25-year-old rookie in the league. They said, Dennis, you have to guard him. And I'm like, and you know what I'm saying? Guard him. So that was my whole job, to guard the toughest guy on the team, on the other teams. So, so I'm guarding him. And every time I turn my head, he's over there in the 3-point line. He said, I'm over here, Rook. I'm like, I got to go out there and run out there like a dumbass. Let's go out there, try to contest him. He'll hit the 3. I'm like, okay,
I remember the Portland game.
And that says a lot, too, because Dennis Rodman, out of all the clips I've seen, he seemed like the biggest nuisance of a defender. Like, if I would want someone to guard, if I had to guard like Kevin Durant or whatever, I would choose Dennis Rodman to guard him, because he just seemed like a nuisance, so much energy, gives 110%. So the fact that Larry Bird was messing with him, this goes to show this guy was on a completely different level to everyone else.
We were playing the Portland Trailblazers. He had like 52 points or something like that. We were down 3. He's a remarkable, crazy 3-point shot. He was leaning. And I was like, there's no way he's going to hit the shot.
DJ again to make the inbounds pass. The double team and Bird. Larry, fake, fall away. Hits it at the buzzer! All right!
Are you kidding me?
Falling, his 3-point. I'm like, this guy's amazing.
One thing I do remember now, this is practice, is I'm making a backdoor cut, And Larry actually spun the ball. Like, I had never dreamed of spinning the ball. He back spun the ball, bounced out in front of me. I about pulled a hamstring because I thought the damn ball was going out of bounds. It popped back up and it hit me in my hands. He just said, you get open, I'll hit you. And I went like, oh, okay then. I was like, that I do remember because I remember thinking, I'm going to try that spin pass. I tried it once and said, I'm not doing that ever again. Like, I threw it out of bounds.
Off of the ball. Back to Larry Bird to McHale. What a pass.
Man.
In the league at that time, do you have a feel for who players felt was the better player between those two?
To be honest with you, the black players gravitated to Magic and the white players gravitated to Bird.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And the people with sense could see the difference. You know, and it wasn't about color or anything else. It was, hey, this guy here can ball.
Yeah.
And that's why we used to always look at Bird like, maybe he's not white. You know, in a little bit of a way, because he's got a lot of swag. Before the word was really hot.
Played in the Garden. I got checked in the game, and Larry Bird was just standing there, and I walked right up to him, was like, "How you doing, Mr. Bird?" I'm, you know, and then he just had his hands on his hip, and he doesn't even look at me the whole time. He looks at Paul Westphal because they were teammates together, and he go, "Paul, I know y'all ain't got this fucking rookie guard in me right now. You got to be fucking." And I got my hand out. My hand is still out, so I'm just like, oh well. Somebody come guard 33 because I think I'm a guard. Like for him to talk trash and never even icon or talk to me, I was like, ooh, this dude is dangerous. Magic was cool when I met him. I got on the court in the form and went right up to him, forget about the game. Hi, Magic, how you doing? Say, hey, what's up, baby? LA, you home?
Yeah. See,
so
does this guy not know anything? Like, from what I know about Larry Bird, you don't want to approach this guy right before a game. He's like Kobe Bryant. He's got that killer's mentality. He's only thinking about winning the game. He doesn't want to make chit-chat with you before the game. Whereas Magic Johnson, he's like the complete polar opposite. He'll kill you with a smile on his face. Like, he'll have that big smile. So, I don't know what that guy was thinking. I never heard of him before. So, and is it correlated to him doing that? Maybe. I don't know.
We get up and we go to practice, and Roy Williams is our coach, but we only got 8. So we like, well, how are we practicing? And what are we practicing for? So we spent, I want to say, an hour doing the 3-man weave. And I'm like, what's going on here? Then they bus us to another location where the dream team is practicing. And these about 400 people standing outside waiting for the dream team to come out. They take us up to a top floor and the dream team is practicing. They're finishing up their practice. And then they say, all right, get loose and stretch out. We're like, okay, we playing? They're like, yeah, we're going to play next. So we get out the gates, like the first 15 minutes, we kicking their ass. we running them all out. Bobby Hurley in the lane, killing John Stockton. So they stopped the game and turn off the score. I think we were up like 72, 66 or something, 64, something like that. We lit their ass up, and then something happened. We're sitting there, and we get back to the hotel. Rodney Rogers says something to, it's a group of them. It's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and everybody's shooting the shit. And Rodney Rogers said, hey, Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since 84. Magic heard that shit. And we ain't think none of it. The next day we came in, and I never seen this. And this one I was like, this is a different breed. Magic Johnson fed Larry Bird the ball probably about 8 times in a row down court. Larry Bird got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. 1 dribble, pull up left, off glass. 1 dribble going right, spin, shot, bucket. He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row, left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on a bench. He had to lay down because of his back. And said, young fella, look like 84, huh?
Last time he made
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow. I said, so that's They kicked our ass for the rest of the week.
Larry and those guys.
I love hearing
I've
stuff
watched
like
my
that.
whole life. I turn around and Larry goes, "What's up, Sal? What's up, Larry?" He goes, "You hate it." Yeah, man. He goes, "Y'all not double teaming?" I said, "Nah, just me on you." He goes, "For real?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, yo, mouse in the house, mouse in the house. And he runs down to the post and posts me up. And boom, boom, score. He said, "It's gonna be a long night, Sal."
That's so disrespectful. Oh my gosh. Mouse in the house. That guy looked like he was like 7 foot. Oh man. That's too funny. That's too I'm gonna use that from now on. Mouse in the house.
And we come out of the huddle and Bird looks at me and Kent Benson is guarding Bird. And Bird looks at me and he goes, "He's got no shot." And he says it right to Benson as he was standing there, right? And sure enough, he gets it in on the left side of the court, takes it down to the baseline.
All right, here's Dennis. Gets it into Bird. Larry, a runner.
Oh my God. This guy seems made up.
Knocks it down, they win by 1. He walks off, he goes, "I told you, you can't put him on me." He said, "You better get somebody else who can guard me."
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and tell me how many points you think a prime Larry Bird will average in today's NBA. So make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Prime Larry Bird, damn. How many points would Larry Bird score in modern NBA? Honestly, whatever he wanted. If he wanted to score 50 points a game, I think he would do that no problem. If he wanted to win the game, I think he would average like 35, 40 points. That with ease. He could do that every single night without even thinking about it. He can get up to 60, 70 points. That's just what I'm thinking. Because in the modern NBA, it's like so fast. Whereas back then, it was more focused on defense, very physical in nature. And although he was good at that, I don't think that was his greatest strength. I think his greatest strength would have been shooting, team ball, passing it around. I think he wasn't even focused on the individual accolades, it seems. It seems that all this guy wanted to do was win at all costs. He didn't care if he had to score 2 points or 100 points. He just wanted to win the game. The thing that sticks out to me is not his trash talking and how he's able to back it up, but that when he always shows up in the biggest moments, it seems like every single time they need a bucket, this guy comes through. He's just clutch. You can't fake that. If I want one person taking a shot, I'm taking Larry Bird every freaking time. I don't care about the Steph Curry, all this nonsense. Because I feel like he never had like a trash talker in his ear, giving him like some banter back and forth. I don't think that goes on in the NBA to the same extent it did back then. I could be wrong, but that's just what my impression is based off this video. But it's so cool. It's so cool watching this guy. He's almost like a guy out of a story. Like, it seems made up. If someone told me this guy's story without seeing like video footage, I would have been like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And not believe it whatsoever. So he just seems incredible. I would have loved to see him in his prime because that just would have been a sight to see. Seeing him or seeing Jordan would have been my dream. That would have been very cool. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I should react to next. I'd be happy to do it. And have a great day, everybody. Take it easy.